You've probably been munching on SunChips forever, but did you know they're made using solar energy? That's right, these crunchy snacks harness the power of the sun. But how does that work, and what other ingredients go into making SunChips? Well, there's only one way to find out, but first make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The multigrain magic. First things first, what makes SunChips different from regular potato chips? Well, it's all about the grains. Unlike your typical potato chips, which are made from simple sliced spuds, SunChips are crafted from a unique blend of corn, wheat, oat flour, and rice flour. This multigrain mix gives them that distinct, hearty texture we all love. Now, why does this multigrain blend matter? Well, it's what gives SunChips that signature crunch and slightly nutty flavor. Regular potato chips are thin, oily, and mostly rely on salt for taste. But SunChips? Oh, they have layers, literally. The combination of grains creates a more complex bite, light and crispy, yet still substantial enough to feel like you're actually eating something satisfying. Let's break down the ingredients a bit. Corn, a major component, brings a mild sweetness and structure to the chips. Wheat adds a little chewiness and heartiness, giving SunChips their satisfying density. Oat flour? That's what helps with the crispiness. And rice flour? It keeps everything from getting too heavy while adding a little extra crunch. Together, these four grains create the perfect balance of lightness and texture that makes SunChips stand out. But that's not all. Because they're multigrain, SunChips have more fiber than traditional potato chips. That means they don't just taste great, they can actually keep you full a little longer. Not saying they're healthy food, but compared to some other chips, they're not the worst snack choice you could make. So in case you ever needed an excuse to grab another handful, there you go. It's also worth mentioning that the way these grains are processed also affects the final texture. The grains are ground into fine flour, then mixed with water to create a dough. This dough is what eventually becomes the chips, but first it has to be pressed, shaped, and baked. It's the baking process that helps keep the hearty texture intact, ensuring every bite has that signature SunChips crunch. It doesn't end there though, but before we proceed, have you subscribed to my channel yet? It'll only take a second. The wavy wonder. So, have you ever noticed those signature wavy ridges on SunChips? They're not just for show. These grooves are carefully crafted during production. The dough made from our fabulous multigrain mix is rolled out and cut into those iconic wavy patterns. This not only gives them their unique look, but also makes them perfect for scooping up your favorite dip. Form meets function, folks. But let's be real, those ridges aren't just about aesthetics. They actually change the way the chip breaks and crunches in your mouth. If SunChips were flat like regular potato chips, they wouldn't have that same hearty bite. The ridges create a structure that makes them feel crispier and more substantial. Each ridge catches a little more air during baking, which helps give SunChips their signature lightness. It's science, but the tasty kind. Now, how do they get those waves? It all comes down to the way the dough is shaped before baking. After the multigrain dough is mixed and rolled out, it goes through a special cutter that stamps out each chip with the signature wavy pattern. Then as the chips bake, the waves firm up and hold their shape. If you've ever looked at a SunChip closely, you'll notice that the ridges are pretty uniform. That's because the entire process is carefully controlled to make sure every single chip gets that perfect wavy crunch. The ridges also have another bonus. They help hold on to flavor. Have you ever eaten a chip and felt like all the seasoning just fell off before it reached your mouth? Well, not with SunChips. Those waves create little pockets where the seasoning clings, so every bite is packed with flavor. That means more cheddar on your Harvest Cheddar SunChips, more zing in your French onion, and more spice in your garden salsa. Basically, ridges is equal to more flavor, and that's a win in any snack lover's book. And let's not forget about dipping. SunChips aren't just good on their own, they're also perfect for scooping up salsa, guacamole, or whatever dip you're craving. Those sturdy ridges make sure the chip doesn't break mid-dip, which, let's be honest, is one of the most frustrating snack-related tragedies ever. So whether you love them for the crunch, the flavor, or their dip-holding superpowers, those ridges aren't just there for decoration. They're part of what makes SunChips the wavy wonder that they are. But there's still a lot more you need to know about how SunChips are made. I'll tell you in a bit, right after you hit the comments and tell us what's your favorite SunChips flavor. Baked to perfection. Now here's where things get toasty. Unlike traditional chips that take a dive into a bubbling pool of oil, SunChips take a different route. They go into an oven, and not just any oven, but one that's designed to bring out that perfect crispy crunch. You may think baking is just about turning up the heat and waiting, but it's actually a science. The temperature has to be just right. Too hot and you end up with chips that are more like burnt crackers. Too low and they turn into sad, floppy snacks nobody wants. First, the dough, which is made from that special multigrain mix, is rolled out and cut into those famous wavy shapes. But before they can take their glorious trip into the oven, the chip needs a little pre-baked treatment. They go through a drying process to remove excess moisture. This is crucial because if the chips go into the oven too wet, they won't get that light, airy crunch SunChips are known for. They'd be dense, chewy, and just plain weird. Once they hit the oven, the real magic happens. The chips bake at a high temperature, which causes the moisture inside to turn into steam, puffing up the chips just slightly. This is what gives them that unique, almost flaky crunch. If you've ever compared a SunChip to a regular potato chip, you'll notice that SunChips have tiny air pockets inside. That's all thanks to the baking process. Traditional fried chips, on the other hand, get their crunch from being blasted with hot oil, which seals the surface instantly. That's why fried chips tend to be heavier and oilier. But let's talk about one of the biggest perks of baking: less oil. SunChips don't need a full-on oil bath to get their texture, so they contain less fat than traditional fried chips. This means you're not drenching your fries in grease every time you grab a handful. Awesome, right? Now, once they're baked into golden perfection, the chips are whisked away to a conveyor belt to cool down, since nobody wants a bag full of steaming hot chips. The cooling process is just as important as the baking because it helps lock in that crispiness. And just like that, the chips are now ready for the best part: the flavor. Speaking of which, what other flavors do you think SunChips should include in their already impressive recipe? Keep the discussion going in the comments. Flavor Fiesta. Now, what's a chip without some flavor? Just a sad, crunchy thing with no personality. SunChips knew they couldn't just rely on their multigrain goodness alone. They needed to bring the flavor, big time. That's why they come in a variety of mouth-watering options like harvest cheddar, French onion, and garden salsa. But how exactly do they get all that deliciousness onto each chip? It all comes down to a careful, almost artistic process. Once the chips have finished baking and cooling, they take a trip down the flavoring line. This is where the magic happens. The chips tumble through a massive rotating drum, which works like a high-tech flavor tornado. But before they get coated in seasoning, they need something to help it all stick. Since the chips are baked and not fried, they don't have a naturally greasy surface for seasoning to cling to like traditional chips do. To fix this, a fine mist of sunflower oil is sprayed onto them. This light coating helps the seasoning grab onto every nook and cranny of those wavy ridges. Now comes the flavor explosion. The seasoning is added in precise amounts to make sure every chip gets an even coat. Too much and it's a salty, powderless mess. Too little and you end up with flavorless disappointment. The drum keeps spinning as the chips dance around, ensuring every piece gets coated to perfection. This is why when you open a bag of SunChips, every bite has that signature taste from start to finish. No sad, unseasoned chips hiding at the bottom. But what exactly is in that seasoning? Well, each flavor has its own special mix of spices, cheeses, and natural ingredients. Take harvest cheddar, for example. It gets its rich, cheesy goodness from a blend of real cheese powder and savory seasonings. Garden salsa, on the other hand, has a zesty mix of tomato, onion, and a little kick of spice. French onion brings a bold, tangy taste with hints of onion and sour cream. The best part? SunChips keep their flavors fresh by packing them in airtight bags that lock in all crunchy, savory goodness. So when you pop open a bag, you're getting chips that are just as flavorful as the moment they left the factory. And that, my friends, is how SunChips go from simple grains to a full-on flavor fiesta in every bite. Now, if you're impressed with how SunChips make their products, share this video with your pals so they can learn too. The eco-friendly touch. Like I mentioned at the beginning, SunChips are made using solar energy. Yep, your favorite crunchy snack isn't just tasty, it's got a little eco-friendly magic behind it. In case you didn't know, the Frito-Lay facility in Modesto, California isn't your average chip factory. They've installed massive solar collectors that harness the power of the sun to generate steam, which helps heat the cooking oil used in production. And trust me when I say that's not just some fancy marketing gimmick. Since 2000, this plant has slashed its electricity use by 19%, cut down natural gas consumption by 30%, and saved a whopping 44% of the water used per pound of product. That's a big deal, considering snack factories can be serious energy hogs. So in case you didn't know, munching on SunChips means you're indirectly giving Mother Earth a high five. Not bad for a bag of chips, right? Speaking of bags, the SunChips manufacturing process can never be complete without packaging. And as you would expect from an environmentally responsible manufacturer, the bags used in making SunChips are also created using the most eco-friendly methods. SunChips are also huge advocates of recycling, so good luck trying to find any waste products here. So after the chips have been seasoned to perfection, they're packed into bags, sealed up tight, and shipped out to snack lovers everywhere. And just like that, a little ball of multigrain dough transforms into the crispy, wavy, flavor-packed chip you love. So what's your favorite SunChips flavor? And if you'd like to learn more about how your favorite brands are made from scratch, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.